went to Mexico for my bachelorette party, and that day I got home, one of my friends called me. She was like, I gotta tell you something. And she said that one of our mutual friends saw my fiance at the time on Bumble. There was a profile, all these pictures, whatever. She sends me a screen recording of it, and I was like, okay, that's super weird. I immediately didn't want to believe that it was him, but there was a photo on there that is not on his social media, so that really got me right away. So I obviously called him over, and I showed it to him, and I was like, what is this? You want to just explain? Because I literally already caught you. And he straight up denied it for like hours in front of me and my sister.
There's literally a screenshot.
And I was like, okay, this makes no sense. Like, it's clearly you. Just admit it. And he swore like on his family and like on everything.
Embarrassing.
He was like, that's not me, and I'm gonna prove it to you. Because I was like, okay, you need to leave. Like, I don't even know what's going on. So the next day, he was like, I email Bumble. I'm trying to figure out like who's using my photos and all this stuff. It was like super chaotic. And then fast forward like a little bit, he sent me a screenshot of messages between him and his friend. And he was going back and forth, accusing this guy of making the Bumble profile of him. And in the end of it, the guy admits it. And he was like, yeah, whatever, like, hope you get what's coming for you or something. And so there was like previous beef between these two. And so I was like, oh, like this guy just like wants us to break up or whatever. So, okay, like this is exactly like where this profile came from. I believed it, and I was like, oh, this, like, thank God, like, and I would have like left it at that. My friend was like, this is still super weird. I really think you need to look into it more, because how would this guy get these pictures of him because they're not on his social media? So I said this to my fiance at the time, and he flipped out on me and was like, I can't do this right now. Like, I can't believe you don't believe me. I just proved it to you that it's not me. And I was like, okay, we need to meet in person and talk about this because this is crazy. He came over, but before he did, I texted somebody who knows this guy who was texting him, and I got his number. So that then, when I saw my fiance, I could compare the numbers and see if it's the same. Because if it wasn't, I was like, this is crazy. Because he literally is having somebody text and pretend to be somebody and make this like fake conversation. So, turns out it was not the same guy. It was somebody else from his work who did essentially that. Fake texted, made this whole conversation, and it was literally insane. And that's when I really caught him in the lie, and I was like, you better start talking. Like, this is crazy. And he actually left. Like, he didn't even say anything, so.
Well, he probably just went to go leave and think up some more lies and ways to, like, you know, not get caught.
And I was like, you better start talking, because this is crazy. So he finally admits it, and he was like, yes, that's me. Like, that's my profile. And I was like, okay, more details. It was like pulling teeth. Like, he would not even, like, say anything. I just had to keep asking him questions, and I could tell that he was being hesitant and thinking on them. And now that I look back at it, he was really just continuing to think of these lies, because everything that he was saying to me at this moment was also lies. He wasn't admitting anything. So he told me that he was on Bumble just for this 1 month of July. He was like, you're never around, like you're always leaving, never want to come hang out with me and my friends. So I've just been feeling really lonely. And he played this whole victim card on me, and I was like, where is this coming from? Like, you haven't even said anything to me. I don't even understand. Like, and so it was this whole thing. This was all on Monday, and fast forward through Monday, we like meet up with our marriage counselors, because I was like, okay, maybe we can work through this. I obviously didn't know if I could trust him, but we were supposed to get married in 2 months, and I was really just trying to like figure it out. The next day, I didn't talk to him at all. I was like, I don't want to hear from you. Like, I just need to figure this out on my own. I need to know if I should say, or if we can work this out, or if I should just be like, no. So then I told him, though, we need to be completely transparent, and I don't like that I don't have access to anything, because now I can't trust you. So he sends me a list of his passwords, and I was like, cool. Wednesday morning, I woke up with like an extreme urge to check his email, and I was just like, I need to. Woke up, literally logged into his email right away. I typed in Bumble, all the notifications scroll back to 2019 to when we first started dating. They were continuous throughout all the months that we were together. All the notifications, it was messages, it was swipes, it was a subscription to get his name out there more. It would always say, welcome back, and it was his name, it was his middle name. He had all these different accounts the whole time that we were together. So I texted him, and I was like, I know you've been cheating on me the whole time. We've been together, like, we're done. That's it. So.
Good girl.
Yeah. And then at that point, when we met up that night to like finalize and end things, he told me he never hung out with anybody. He only messaged girls. And I was just like, okay, that seems really like sketch. I don't believe that. And then just recently I found out from somebody that he told that he was sleeping around and was with girls the whole time we were together. So
and the lies
that was
and the
super
lies.
awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, dude, you almost married a pathological liar. Good. Almost. Keyword almost.
If you trust your boyfriend and or fiance, let me tell you why maybe you shouldn't. And that just because you're engaged doesn't necessarily mean that that person's gonna be loyal to you. So one of my followers is recently engaged and she really wanted me to do a loyalty test on her fiance. She wanted me to go to his job and see if I can get his phone number. Clearly I did, but these screenshots got very disturbing. So I said, hey, it's Allie. I gotta make up my fake name. I told him just plugged in my phone because, again, people ask me all the time. I literally tell them my phone died until I have them right on a piece of paper. And he was like, oh, I'm glad. I asked him how his day was going and he told me that it's been pretty boring and it was much better when I was there. So I'm going along with the flirting. Is that so? Then he says, I haven't seen a woman as beautiful as you in a long time. Sir, you are engaged. You asked a woman to marry you less than 72 hours ago.
Whoa.
I digress. So at this point, I basically told his fiance, like, do you even want me to continue? She was like, yes, but then it got worse. I said, thank you. He asked me, do you have Instagram? It might be better if we message over there. I said, actually, I don't, but why would it be better? He said, I delete my messages a lot on my phone for storage. Sir, try again. I said, oh yeah, no IG though. Then I brought up the fact that I literally saw his engagement ring when he gave me his number. So I said, I noticed you had an engagement ring on. I'm kind of surprised you gave me your number. This man said, it's from my wife who passed away. No. I still wear it though. I don't know, kind of weird probably.
Yeah.
At that point, his fiance was like, that's enough. She has yet to tell me what she's gonna do. I think she's gonna bring it up to him. I suggested and gave her my advice of cancel the wedding. Throw the man away. That was my own tip to her. So even if you get your boyfriend to get down on one knee, that does not mean he's going to be loyal to you. Someone is going to be loyal to you if they want to. Forcing them into a commitment is not going to guarantee them.
Is anybody else just like afraid of like love? Mike, if you ever see this is what will happen to you if you ever cheat on me.
Met this man on a dating app. We got along. Let's go out to dinner, right? Now, before I go on any date, I check him out online. So I was looking up his social medias. Didn't find anything. Literally, he had accounts, but he only had one picture posted and just wasn't really active on any of his accounts. So he takes me on a date to this nice restaurant, and it was a decent date, okay? Now, he told me that he was divorced, but something felt a little bit off, and little Freudian slips just kind of seemed like he wasn't actually divorced. He was still married, and he was not wearing a ring, by the way. But since I kept getting little snippets and clues that made me feel like something was off, I knew that I was going to go home and dig further on this man. And if I'm ever involved with someone who has come to me as a single man and I find out they're not single, I'm going to let the woman know. Maybe you wouldn't do it.
As you should.
This is me. I feel it's the right thing to do. So after the date, I went home and I dug a little bit deeper on this man. And with the help of my friend, we found out he was married and found his wife on Instagram. Her profile picture was him and her at their wedding ceremony. Beautiful, okay? I messaged her and I said, is so-and-so your husband? Now, obviously, it looks like they're married. They're in the profile picture together. And in her bio, it says that she is his wife. But what if they recently got divorced and she just hadn't changed her bio yet? I wanted to hear it from her that they were actually still married. She replied within 7 minutes and said, yes, that's my husband. And I told her that I had just went on a date with him. She responded back with a bunch of questions. I answered everything she asked, and she was just so sweet and so grateful that I had found her and told her. Now, this was a couple of months ago. Let's fast forward to yesterday. She reached out to me and thanked me again and told me she had done some investigating and found out that he had been seeing many other women. She said she reached out to 6 of them, meaning there were more than 6, but she was able to reach out to 6 of them, and they would not talk to her. I already know y'all are going to come back with, well, I wouldn't have responded to her either. It's none of my business. I don't want to be in the middle of it. But for me, I think she had a right to know. This is not just something that y'all see in a Lifetime movie. This is happening in real life to everyday people. I talked to her for a while. She was in a very happy marriage. There was no cause for concern, no red flags. flags, and all the while this was happening. This man lied straight to my face and told me he had been divorced for 6 months when actually he had been married for 6 months. This man even lied about his birthday, not the year he was born to make himself appear older or younger. He lied about the date of his birth. Why do you need to lie about that? And something else. So his wife told me they were both vegetarian. When he was with me, he ate a big old 12-ounce steak.
I just don't get it. Why the need for the double, triple life? Does it make people feel good to stomp all over people's hearts and sneak around and lie? Does that make people feel good? Always trust your gut, ladies.